if there are more, if there are other of those, or do you have any further, those detailed questions based on this report at this point, or?
Well, we talk about types of I mean, again, if I want to talk about training, I want to talk about what types of equipment will be used in that training. And the report mentions a couple of items, but I don't know what all the equipment was. I don't know what the police department plans on obtaining in the future. I have a report here about how the drones that were used in the military are now being used for local law enforcement and was currently used in North Dakota. I mean, are we going to get drones in Tomah? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's happening with the training coming down the line. We have Volk Field, Fort McCoy, Camp Douglas. We have our own airport. Will we have drones for military or for police surveillances?
Well, you're mentioning training here, so perhaps that would be down. If it's pertinent to this specific request, we'd have to review the document here. Otherwise, I would agree that we might want to, if you want to provide us with you know, email or a packet of information on your findings, we could review those and then add that as a future agenda item for the greater detail that you're looking for us to discuss.
I just want to say right now, I do not want to talk about these things. I don't want to. It sickens me to talk about these things. It should not be talked about on a city the size of 10,000, that I have to bring these up, but these things are happening, you know, and that's what really bothers me, is the fact that, you know, and honestly, you know, today is my birthday. I would rather be home with my family than bringing up these issues now. But I guess, like I said, I will reserve, and I will talk about directly related to the request for out-of-state training when that issue comes up on the agenda.
Very well, thank you. Jim, do you have information or something to add?
I don't want to drag this out, and I want to be very brief in the two. Generally speaking, in addition to the police department, U.S. Fire, utility departments, etc., and in short, what we're intending to go here before too long, and Kevin and Wes would be spearheading that too, is that National Incident Management Systems. You're familiar with that? Okay, good. And we're going to start to be blended in a way, and that, by the way, is going to require council training, but not specifically police, but all those entities too, as far as control of incidents. That's where we want to go with that. And even the question we had before, hypothetically, what if you had an incident where there's a viral outbreak? Would you enact it or not? I think whoever is the incident command person would do so only with the blessing and recommendation of the state epidemiologist.
We would then not also require, that's saying then that the city loses its ability to govern itself in that one decision.
Not necessary. And like I say, I don't know that it's appropriate to drag it out until at least all council members had an opportunity to comply with their NIMS training, and that'll be forthcoming too. But just to know that there's a structure in place that was mandated by the federal government. I mean, even tied in that document, I don't recall ever seeing that. I would like a copy of that. The other thing too is that between police and fire within the area too, a lot of different, as they do have mutual aid agreements in place and all that too for major disasters or in the event they have to do evacuations too. And of course that would be supported by the ambulance department also.
I know everybody else isn't familiar with the national structure that's being put in place, but I would just like to, you know, throw a word of caution out there that any structure put in place for good can be used for bad, and governments have switched hands throughout history. My wife is from Romania. They did it in Romania. Romania went from being a democracy to working with the Germans, with Hitler, and then they went to being communism. And, you know, at one point in Romanian history, before their fall, my wife was there when it fell. There was 1 in 3 people as informants to the government, and people were arrested in the middle of the night and taken to prisons and tortured and beat up. And this is one of those things that I'm afraid, because it has happened within our lifetimes in another country, but I'm afraid that when we start putting all this structure in place and start losing our ability to govern ourselves, we lose our ability to protect ourselves.
I would ask that we move forward with our agenda that we are charged with tonight. Chief Rebels, do you have any further presentation details?
No.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for a comprehensive report and transparent report. And I would like to thank the mayor and the council members for the work that you do along with the city attorney's office. I know that they're not here this evening, but I appreciate the work and the support throughout the course of the year. And we're coming up on the holiday season, so we're going to have a good Christmas and hopefully an even better New Year. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda is the Parks and Recreation